We begin right now with exclusive information on the latest in the Diddy investigation. I have learned from sources that investigators have found several weapons inside his homes. Several. They also have found videos. It's been reported that Diddy has collected images of people in compromising situations at his residences. TMZ now obtained this video inside his home in Los Angeles after the raid by federal agents. It's reported that Diddy is the target of a sex trafficking investigation that comes after he was hit with a wave of civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and trafficking. I've also learned exclusively that Diddy is in Miami. Authorities know exactly where he is. They've been in touch with his legal team. Sources tell me he's trying to avoid the paparazzi, and they're telling me he will not be arrested soon. Former NYPD Detective Derek Parker, known as the hip-hop cop, is joining me now with his thoughts on how this plays out.
Girl, let me tell you about the shocking news that just dropped Diddy. Yes, the Diddy is reportedly on the run and trying to flee the country as we speak. This is some serious tea, and the urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. The police are hot on his trail, but nobody knows exactly what Diddy is running from or where he's trying to go. All I know is the streets are saying this scandal is about to be major. We're talking career-ending, life-changing kind of drama. And you know I've got all the inside details to spill. Stay tuned, because in this video we're going to unpack everything from what sparked this crazy chase to what Diddy's escape attempt means for his future. Honey, you don't want to miss a second of this.
So you know Diddy, right?
Yes.
In what way?
Back in the 90s, I was assigned to the NYPD. I was the hip-hop cop back then, so I had to assist in arresting him in several instances where there were some crimes committed.
What were those arrests for?
One was the Club New York shooting. He was with J-Lo at the time, and the other one was the Steve Stout assault that happened with MTV.
Right. Okay. So I have some exclusive information which you just heard. The fact, if it's true, that they found a lot of weapons at his homes, what do you think this could mean?
Well, what happens here is that the federal government started a case with him. Apparently the search warrant that had his houses in Miami and LA was pre-planned already. They knew they were going to do that. So they have a much bigger case. Right now with the guns, they're going to check them, they're going to trace them, see if they were used in any crimes. They're going to go over anything about cooperators that are cooperating with them. They're going to be talking to a lot of people about certain criminal acts that he might have committed, and then go from there.
And what about the videos?
Well, they're going to sift through those videos. They're going to look at them and then see if there's any criminality on those videos, and then they'll go from there.
So what do you think? I mean, it just seems like the house of cards might fall for Diddy right now.
It's not looking that great. Right now, I know that he has higher-powered attorneys, and
right.
With all these allegations that are coming out against him and against other people, a lot of people are starting to be very nervous about what's going on.
When you arrested Diddy back in the day, what kind of interaction did you have with him?
More professional. I mean, he knew who I was. I knew who he was. And whenever he got into trouble, it was like I was like his detective. So,
yeah.
You know, I always had to come to the precinct of whatever happened, and then to deal with him, to make sure that everything was good with the detectives there and then everything else going on.
We should mention that Diddy has denied any wrongdoing.
Right.
As of right now, he's saying he had nothing to do with anything. So,
right now, it's just an investigation.
Right. But it seems like all of this came to light after his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, alleged that she was in a very abusive relationship with him.
That accelerated things. I mean, his settlement with her and all the criminal acts that she alleged have happened, and then other people started coming forward, so it's like a house of cards.
Yeah, and I think there are several people right now that are alleging that they were in allegedly compromising positions at Diddy's house,
yes,
being forced to do things that they didn't want to do.
There are a lot of things that are coming out right now, and what's going to happen is that the government's going to go through all of these things that they have uncovered, and they're going to see if there's any criminality. If any charges are to be brought, they will bring them later.
So let's talk about this, because I'm not like into the weeds of all this.
Okay.
But apparently TMZ is reporting that Suge Knight, who's in prison right now, right? And he's
in prison, yes, he's in jail.
For
he ran over an individual in Los Angeles and he committed a homicide.
Okay. So TMZ is reporting that Suge Knight has said to Diddy right now, your life is in danger.
Yes. Okay, what he's probably saying, I can't speak for what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because of everything that's going on right now, there's probably a lot of people that are upset about what's going on. And then, you know, even yesterday I started seeing things online where people are starting to make threats towards 50 and Diddy is starting to go back. And this is how it starts in hip hop. It starts right on social media and then it goes into the streets.
It does. You know, you don't hear about that too much. I mean, back in the day, yes, right? There was a lot of that.
Back in the days, you had diss records where people would just do diss records, and one rapper would talk about the other rapper. Now they go to clubs and places, and this is where they meet, and then there's always collateral damage.
Okay, so there's also been talk. I didn't realize like there was this Camp Diddy. We're hearing that Usher, when he was a young man just starting in the business, he went to Diddy's house for an extended period of time. Even Justin Bieber was brought there. I think he was 15 years old. And now we're kind of looking at their interviews that they gave years ago about being at Diddy's house and what transpired. We're looking at it differently.
Well, they are, because they were young men at the time. So with all the sex trafficking allegations that are out right now, this is what everybody's looking at. They're looking at the past and the present.
So what's got the police all hot and bothered chasing after Diddy like he stole something? Hold on to your edges because the details are scandalous. Word on the street is that Diddy's wanted for some serious allegations and the cops ain't playing around. We're talking potential criminal charges, though nobody's saying exactly what he supposedly did. Girl, you know it's got to be big if the police are on the hunt like this. Chilly, I heard through the grapevine that there were some incidents leading up to this wild goose chase. Maybe Diddy got caught up in something shady or pissed off the wrong people. All I know is the authorities are coming for him with a vengeance. Now, we don't have all the official statements yet, but trust and believe the law enforcement folks are not happy. They're probably itching to get their hands on Diddy and bring him in for questioning. Can you imagine being in that interrogation room? The tension would be thicker than Diddy's bank account. But here,
If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out. hey, hey, listen. Now I know that this is not a funny subject, but at the same time, it's like, you know what I'm saying? hey, they trying to say, man, that Diddy done fled the country. They trying to say, man, that Diddy done jumped on his private jet and done fled the country. Now, according to reports, this is what they saying, y'all. They saying that all throughout this weekend, Diddy private jet been flying all up and down the coast, California, Miami. It's been flying everywhere, right? But 9 o'clock this morning, early, that joint dipped. And now it's in the Caribbean islands, in Barbuda, Antigua, or something like that. And that's where the jet is stationed right now. However, let's be clear. We don't know if Diddy is on the jet. But allow me to say this right here. It's his jet, ain't no question about it. It is his private jet, ain't no question about that. So if they ain't found Diddy by now, if he ain't at his Miami home, he ain't at his Los Angeles home, where y'all think Diddy at? Diddy in the Caribbean islands, bruh. Lamping, chilling, terrified and scared at the same time. Because this one thing we got to understand. We're talking about a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken. Now, usually, when the police want these billionaires and these millionaires and stuff like that, usually, they call the attorney and say, hey, turn him in. We want to talk to him. Turn him in. We have an arrest warrant for him, right? And these billionaires and millionaires, you know, that's what they do. They get the opportunity to turn themselves in. For those of you who don't know, remember when Dirk and Von caught that attempted murder down there in Atlanta? They slammed King Von to the concrete, treated him like a straight criminal. He's not a millionaire, nothing like that, probably at that time. But Dirk, the millionaire, they called his lawyer. Hey, can you have him turn himself in? And what Dirk do? He turned himself in. But not just Dirk, you know what I'm saying? But all type of millionaires and billionaires, this is what they do. They call the lawyers. Now, once they call the lawyer and the lawyer put them on game and say, hey man, they trying to arrest you. That gives you that opportunity to be like, hey, hold on, let me get up out of here. I can't go to jail. I ain't trying to do no time. Let me go and get up out of here real quick so I can try to, preserve a little bit of this life that I got left, preserve a little bit of this freedom that I got left before they capture me. Now, we got to understand something. He ain't really went nowhere. I mean, I understand that he's miles and thousands of miles away from the homeland United States, but the Caribbean island is the feds is like, that's nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you trying to get away from the feds, you got to go somewhere in a remote village in Africa, and you got to be hiding in a bowl of rice or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about sleeping with the alligators or something like that to get away from the feds, because going over there, that ain't nothing. Now, we don't know. It could be a play. Diddy could still be in the States, but just sent his jet over there to throw the feds off. And he probably somewhere over here lamping. But let's say this right here, y'all. If the feds are actually looking for Sean P. Diddy Combs, they gonna cut his ward off. What you mean, hood educated? What you mean they gonna cut his ward off? Them credit cards, them black cards that he got, they don't work no more. Nah. If they believe that he's on the run, those accounts with all those billions and millions and stuff like that, the feds can put a freeze on all that. You can't spend no money. Your money ain't no good no more. We need you. We want your body. And that's what they do to people. That's how they push people out. They just deprive them of everything. Everything. But thus far, we got to be balanced over here. Thus far, we haven't heard anything about them wanting to arrest him. We can only assume and believe in our mind that that's what's going on because of all the raids and stuff like that. It could be tangibles and material things that they looking for in these raids. It's being reported that his son, Justin and King, both was arrested. So we got to think and we got to believe in our mind. If the sons was arrested and taken into federal custody, then the main culprit, the main perpetrator, got to be arrested once they catch him. Because we got to think, his sons, one of his sons was put in one of those lawsuits and stuff like that, but they wasn't put in the lawsuit like the father was. The father was the real perpetrator. The father was the one just out of pocket. But some victims have said that the father has used the sons to help him get young girls and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So according to reports, they saying that both of his sons, Justin and King, has been arrested. And again, allow me to say this, I got to reiterate it. Being that they was arrested, if P. Diddy was at any one of them homes, I would like to believe in my mind that they'd have put them cuffs on him and say, come on.
It makes you wonder what could be so bad that Diddy would risk everything to flee the country. Is it a scandal that could ruin his career? Some dirty secrets from his past coming back to haunt him? Or maybe he just pissed off the wrong powerful people? Chile. The possibilities are endless. All I can say is this story is far from over. With the police on the hunt and Diddy on the run, there's bound to be some juicy details coming out soon, and you know I'll be right here, ready to spill all the tea as it happens. Now, speaking of Diddy's great escape, you won't believe the lengths this man is allegedly going to in order to give the cops the slip. We're talking some Hollywood-level antics and disguises that would make even the most seasoned criminal jealous. But honey, I can't give away all the details just yet. You'll have to stay tuned for the next part of this wild ride.
Homeland Security, we got to understand that too. When we dealing with Homeland Security, we dealing with human trafficking. That's what Homeland Security is for. Like when y'all be seeing stuff like the Mexican brothers or just the Latino brothers or the African brothers or whatever, and they be like smuggling these people into the United States. Guess who come and arrest them? Guess who come and raid them? Homeland Security, human trafficking. This is a federal crime. And being that those lawsuits, like I said in my last video, being that these women and this man is saying that this man right here was taking them from state to state, committing these crimes, that's human trafficking. And they don't play about human trafficking. There's brothers right now, I'm talking about doing life in the penitentiary, 77 years and all that old type of stuff, just off of human trafficking sex crimes. And that's what P. Diddy is looking at. So with him, if he done ran to the islands, I can only assume that P. Diddy has been planning for this because he's a highly intelligent brother. I can only assume that if he made it to the islands, he probably trying to get on something else or use somebody else's private jet to get over there. Well, what's that brother name that done fled the whole country and he over there chilling in peace? Russell Simmons. What's his, y'all know who I'm talking about. Run brother. You know what I'm saying? The Simmons brother. You know what I'm saying? Russell Simmons. Yeah, him. He probably trying to get over there with that brother and and do all that old meditating and all. After you done did all this corruption over here, now you want to meditate and nah, we ain't going for it. But again, the sons are arrested, so we can only imagine what's going on down there in that interrogation room. These boys right here was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They ain't never been under no pressure like this. You got hardcore killers, gangbangers. I'm talking about that done been under real pressure. Get up under that light, and when them people sit in front of them, they break, they fold, they fumble. So here it is. We got boys that was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, with the federal government standing in front of them, asking them questions about their father. You want to go to jail, son, for something that you didn't do? I know this is tough, but you didn't do anything wrong, son. Your father did. You got to let us know what happened, because if we can prove that you had anything to do with this, and you don't tell us, we're going to put you in jail. Them boys don't want to lead that life. Living in them big, beautiful houses all that time. Jewelry, driving the finest, got the beautiful women, all that. These is kids. They ain't never trying to give up their trinkets. They ain't never trying to give up their toys. No, So here it is, y'all. They saying that P. Diddy done fled the United States of America. I guess time will tell. The cold-blooded part about this, though, is the victims. Because we have all these women. We even have some men. And now that all this stuff is coming out, I guarantee you more people are going to start coming out. And listen, if they catch P. Diddy and it's about this human trafficking stuff, it might be a floodgate. What you mean, hood educated? Let me tell y'all. Being that P. Diddy got the secrets of all these other guys, y'all know how P. Diddy come to a P. Diddy party, man. P. Diddy party, man. P. Diddy, his parties, man, and P. Diddy likes to party. All these other rappers who are silent and ain't saying nothing about this whole ordeal ever since it came out, ain't nobody came out and spoke up for the victims or nothing. All these rappers, silent, ain't saying nothing. It makes you say, why you ain't saying nothing? If somebody snitched or something like that, these guys are quick to, hey man, we don't deal with no rats, man, and all this old type of stuff. But here it is, this man right here has played it out. Or excuse me, not played it out. He has settled out on a human trafficking case. Ain't nobody said nothing. It makes you wonder, why are a lot of these rappers engaging in what P. Diddy engaged in? Does P. Diddy have those secrets? You see what I'm saying? Does P. Diddy know these guys' secrets? does P. Diddy get footage, audio, and video of these guys' secrets? And that's why they like this here. Can't say nothing. Because if I do, he gonna put me out there. I gotta be quiet. But time gonna tell. Time is really gonna tell. And let me explain to you why. Because if he got their secrets in some type of way, we all know one thing about, if you know and you watch these shows about these sexual predators, they like keeping trophies. They like keeping things that remind them of what they did. And those come in video, audio, pictures, and just things from the victims. Underwear, bra, wigs, shoes, whatever. These type of people love to keep trophies. They love to keep stuff that can take them back so they can remember and relive the disgusting stuff that they did. And so if that be the truth, and he got all that stuff, and that's what them FBI's, the Homeland Security is running up in his house looking for, because they got word that he got some type of stuff like that in his house. Oh my.
Girl, you won't believe the tea I've got on Diddy's wild escape attempt. According to my sources, this man pulled out all the stops to give the cops the slip. We're talking Mission Impossible level stunts and disguises that would make even Tom Cruise jealous. So, here's what I heard through the grapevine. Apparently, Diddy's been planning this getaway for a minute now. He knew the heat was coming, so he started putting together his escape route like a mastermind. First things first, he needed a way out of the country, and you know Diddy doesn't do coach. Chile, word is he chartered a private jet to whisk him away to some undisclosed location. Must be nice to have that kind of money, right? But getting on...
Good morning. Quiet right now, but it was a chaotic scene with federal agents rushing into the home here behind me. There were two separate raids, one here in this upscale neighborhood, the other in Miami, both connected to a federal sex trafficking investigation. Take a look. Fox 11 was the first to show you the raid here locally, led by Homeland Security, heavily armored federal agents making their way into the home on Mapleton Drive, associated with rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs and his production company, Bad Boy Films. Dozens of agents searched the property for hours, leaving with boxes of evidence. A similar scene at the Miami Beach property listed in his name as well. The properties raided in connection to a sex trafficking investigation, although Department of Homeland Security officials haven't named Diddy as the focus. The 54-year-old has been at the center of several sexual assault and sex trafficking allegations in the last year. That's something Variety's executive music editor has been covering extensively. Listen.
Been rumors like this for years, for decades, about this kind of behavior from him. I don't know whether they're true or not. You know, yes, he could be an unpleasant person. That is widely available on video. A lot of really successful people can be. Innocent until proven guilty, one would hope.
And you can see him here, this video from TMZ showing the hip-hop producer pacing outside of a customs office at a Miami airport after the properties were raided. And this was also after he was reportedly stopped and questioned by federal agents moments before. Coming back out here live to the raid that was here in Holmby Hills yesterday, we did see a few people being detained by authorities, reportedly Diddy's two sons, who were questioned and released.
The timeline of Diddy's escape is still a little fuzzy, but from what I've gathered, this all went down in the span of a few hours. 1 minute he was living his best life, the next he was on the run like a fugitive. It just goes to show, when you've got money and connections like Diddy, you can make things happen fast. But even with all his resources and clever tricks, Diddy's not out of the woods yet. The police are still hot on his trail, and they're not going to rest until they bring him in. It's like a real-life game of cat and mouse, and the whole world is watching to see who comes out on top. Chile.
I wish, for the sake of Kim's family, because, bruh, if you know what I know, he put Kim in a gold casket. Then had security, 24-hour security at the funeral home so nobody would go in there and touch the casket or take Kim out of there. I think that they should reopen our case and have an independent pathologist look at everything about her so she can rest in peace. So I know people, paperwork, and this other young lady on the internet, they are spearheading the reopening of Kim's case. And I hope they do.
How you feel about that personally? What do you think happened to Kim Porter?
Well, I personally,
Yeah.
I just can't believe that somebody that had the normal flu, that had doctors on speed dial, that they had enough money that they could get the half of the hospital to come to the house and take care of her, that she died of just pneumonia like that. And if you get that point where you can't breathe, and if you know you ever had a cold so bad, I had COVID and I couldn't breathe, but I still made it to the hospital on my own. I can't believe that she stayed in that house, laid in that house, and died like they said she died. So my personal opinion is that somebody need to reopen that case, and there needs to be a person that can do an independent autopsy to tell us the truth about what really happened to Kim Porter. When I first heard of Puff violence towards women, and like I told you, I was told this and I heard this. You understand? I used to live right across the street from Eddie F. in Mount Vernon. That was Heavy D and the Boys DJ. Me and Eddie used to have conversations. I don't know, it was Eddie or his brother that told me. But I heard in our conversations that when Misa, he thought Misa was dealing with Eric Sermon, and he beat her so bad, she was trying to get away from him. She had to crawl up under the car. And at the time, Misa was a little something. That's the first time I heard of his violence with women. The second time was when I went to the hospital and Kim had ripped his wrist up. I told people he would do that whenever I was working with him. You know, he would act like that play fight with the pillows and everything, roughing the girls up like that. So if I didn't see nothing like, well, I wouldn't see it because they'd be in the room. But if she don't run out screaming and hollering, or I don't hear no help, ain't nothing I could do about it. But if she come out and she's in distress and he's trying to do something, I'm going to do something about it. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Because you're not taking my pension away. You're not, because, you know what I do for a living. You're not putting me in a situation. When Diddy told the people that was in the I guess at the studio that time, that said that it was a drive-by, this is what the little girl, not a little girl, I'm sorry about that. Her name is Tiffany Red. just what she was speaking about on her thing, bro. She was saying, like, in order to get in that studio, you got to be buzzed in about 3 or 4. You got to get buzzed in 2 or 3 times. There's no blood coming from the outside to the inside. He got pictures. I saw the pictures. He got pictures of all the blood and everything in the bathroom. He took pictures, bro. Now, Diddy is messing with an investigation of a shooting. If he told people to lie and tell the cops that it was a drive-by, and then he had people that he had hired, the people that he knew that was cops and there's friends of his that came in, that talked to the people, that's instruction. No, was it instruction? He's instructing of justice when he's trying to interfere with an investigation. He could be charged with that because nobody was ever found in the shooting. So that case could still be open because that kid was shot. Obstruction of justice, that's what it is. He obstructed justice because whoever shot that kid in the bathroom, well, it was Justin or Diddy. One of them did it because 3 of them went in the bathroom together. G, Justin, and Diddy. One got shot. Unless the kid gonna say he shot himself. But Diddy still obstructed justice because he had everybody, he told the people in the studio, he told all the people, and he lied and paid everybody off to lie. He probably paid the guy off who got shot and said, yo, man, listen here, take this money and say that it was a drive-by. So if the DA wanted to get him on something, that's enough right there. That's a criminal act. That's an open case. But the police know it's a lie anyway. You know why?
Why's that?
Any of those studios, anybody that have insurance on a facility have to have surveillance cameras a certain amount of feet away from your facility. So if it was a drive-by, they would have to go to the videotape and the surrounding videotape. So they knew that was a lie. But because he had the money and he had the cops on his payroll, nobody did nothing about it.